The play-in has concluded, and now the NBA playoff brackets are set. And I got to say this, like I said before, I wasn't a fan of the play-in the beginning. I never was. I thought it was another one of Adam Silver's dumb ideas. I've been very critical about him as a commissioner, not himself personally, but as a commissioner, I've been very, very critical of him. You listen to Adam Silver; he's a smart guy. He didn't get where he's at because you know his privilege might have got him there. No, not just that. He's a very smart guy. You listen to him talk. He's an intelligent guy. But as a commissioner, there's been a lot of flopped situations and flopped moments and flopped opportunities that I was just like, oh my gosh. But nevertheless, this play-in scenario is probably his best idea that he's ever come up with. And the reason why I say that is because the way the game has gone. If it was back in the 80s and 90s, I would say, whoa, this is crazy. But even then, it might be a good idea because the players and the teams back then, a lot of them played hard. We all know about the teams, and I don't need to start mentioning them. But for this typical era of NBA basketball, this play-in is a tremendous, tremendous idea because it really separates who wants to be here and who doesn't. Now, some teams play hard. Like last night, the Atlanta-Miami game went to overtime. So that just gives you a great example of how serious guys could get when the chips are on the line. And, last night, Miami advancing as the 8th seed. The 10th seed now is the 8th seed. And, of course, Dallas just ran out of juice last night against Memphis. They have the pieces. Everybody's still on the Luka trade. Bottom line is the trade was made. Move on. It's over with. Whatever the reasons were, I've already talked about it on the past show. It's happened. It's over with. And now it's about the teams in the playoffs. So I'm going to start with my predictions. And my first prediction, and I'm going to start with the Western Conference, is going to be the number 1 seed, Oklahoma City Thunder, against the now number 8 seed, Memphis Grizzlies. And SGA is ready to go. I think this is his time. This is his moment. I think the pieces are in place, and they still got a bunch of draft picks. So they're going to be making tinkering moves throughout the next few years to put the team together that's going to finally bring a championship to Oklahoma. And I think SGA is the guy to do it. I'm going to pick Oklahoma City in 5 games. I just think Memphis, there's a lot of stuff going on. Last night's game with Dallas was an example of how good they could be. But Oklahoma City's just better. So OKC in 5 games. The next set of games, the next series, you got the 4th seed Denver Nuggets against the 5th seed Clippers. I'm not betting against Kawhi and James Harden. James Harden, who came out, played an amazing 78 games this year. Another one of the veteran guys playing over 70 games. Kawhi, he should be healthy and ready. He played, only 36, 37 games. Ty Lue's a fantastic coach. They got some pieces around them. They got Norm Powell. Hopefully they get Ben Simmons to actually do something, take a couple of shots. They got the pieces. Clippers in 6. Next series, Lakers versus the Timberwolves. I'm just going to say it. I don't trust the Timberwolves. I don't know what's going on in Minnesota. We all know about the trade for Cat in the offseason, trading him to New York, and I don't know what's going on in Minnesota. Minnesota barely getting in as a 6th seed, avoiding the play-in. Lakers in 6. LeBron's got the experience. Luka just came off being in the finals last year. He might not play defense, but he knows when to play. And I just believe LeBron and Luka are going to be too much for the disarray Minnesota Timberwolves. Lakers in 6. The last series, interesting, very interesting. You got the Ime Udoka Young Cats, the Houston Rockets against the 7th seed. Always there, always finding a way to get there. Golden State Warriors, 4-time champs. It's going to be a tough series. And the only reason why I'm going to pick the Houston Rockets in 7 games is because of home court advantage. But don't get it twisted. The last time Golden State played a Game 7 in the first round against a team who I thought was going to be inspired to get to the next round, they were eliminated, and that was the Sacramento Kings. So Houston in 7, but I would not be surprised if Golden State takes this one. Now to the Eastern Conference. Cleveland, number 1, going against the 10, now number 8, Miami Heat. Davion Mitchell last night found a way. I mean, what is it about Eric Spoelstra? What is it about Miami in the play-in? I thought without Jimmy Butler, they wouldn't get in. I still believe they need to rebuild. I truly believe a rebuild is in order. But for the time being, with the playoff experience they have and what's happening, I think they'll give Cleveland a good push. But I think Cleveland's going to win in 6 games. So Cleveland needs to get out of that first round. Last year, they lost to the Knicks in the first round, and they kind of learned from that. They are not going to be resting any players. Hopefully, everybody's going to be ready to go. So it'll be Cleveland in 6 games against a tough Miami team. Next round, we got this is going to be interesting. I got to say this one. The Pacers versus the Bucks. 4 versus 5. Pacers at 4, Bucks at 5. Pacers coming off getting swept in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Bucks, having a very, tough offseason. Finally, getting rid of Chris Middleton, who doesn't know when to play how. I'm not going to be critical of him, but I just think injuries have just taken over his willingness to get on the court. Sometimes injuries are just too strong. Of course he wants to play. I wouldn't be stupid and say he doesn't want to, but he became a very, very big liability. And of course, traded in a trade deadline for Kyle Kuzma, who's going to help them out. It's a different Bucks team. And I'm going to go with the Bucks in 6 games. The 5th seed, I think they're going to steal one in Indiana. And I'm going to go with Giannis. Not against him, but I'm going to go with Giannis. I like Giannis. I think Giannis, when Giannis is ready, Giannis just takes over. I think he's going to take over. And, those boys in Indiana, Rick Carlisle knows how to win, but it's going to be a grinder. But I just think Giannis is going to find a way. Now, if Indy pulls it off, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just think the grinder of this series is going to be Giannis' series. It's going to be Giannis' way of saying, come on, guys, please don't bet against me. I'm going to prove you wrong. So Giannis in 6. 5th seed is going to beat the 4th seed. Next series, the young upstart 6th seed Detroit Pistons with Monty Williams. A great coach in Monty Williams. Phoenix Suns, what the hell were you thinking? Going against my 3rd seed Knicks, who's been run to the ground by Coach Thibodeau. Burnt out, toasted, cooked, as far as I'm concerned. The last 4 out of 5 games, they were up and then lost. They were tired, exhausted. This is going to be a series of hell for my Knicks. The Pistons have finally gotten to where they need to. Dwayne Casey planted the seeds, did a great job for the first couple years. They removed him. They brought in Monty Williams, who knows how to coach, who's been to a finals, has played with some great players, who's coached some great players. It's going to be a tough series. I might put a little bias in this, but I'm going to pick my Knicks in 6 games. But this is going to be the coming of the age for Detroit. Detroit will be here for a while with Monty Williams. Don't get it twisted. The last and final series of this pod, Detroit. Sorry, again, not my apologies. I'm so talking about Detroit because I'm excited about where that team is going with their youth and their coaching. We got the Celtics, the defending champs. People are not talking about them. The champs, going against the 7th seed Orlando Magic. The champs are going to win in 5 games. I think the champs are ready. Champs in 5 games. Everybody's going to be there. They basically got the same team that they won with last year. Everybody's going to be healthy. Healthy or not, you're playing. Let me just say this. Healthy or not, everybody's playing in the playoffs. There will be no load management. There will be no day of rest or none of that crap. So if this is the only time you want to watch NBA playoff basketball, this is the time to watch it. So everybody, It's the time. The time is here. The time is now. NBA playoffs. And we'll see what happens. Those are my first round predictions. I'm signing out. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Listen to this podcast. I'm out. Peace.